Good morning, rally fans, and welcome to round 3 of the ARA National Championship presented by Kubota. And we are at Olympus Rally, presented by DirtFish. And David, why is DirtFish so specific to this event?
Let's go find out. Wow, this is what we're all about. This is what rallying in Washington. Olympus Rally, don't get me wrong, it is very important. We love it, but we really love DirtFish Rally School.
Right now we're seeing the school surfaces kind of in the natural state, the Pacific Northwest, exactly what we're going to see at Olympus this weekend.
Yeah, these guys are ready to go straight into Olympus Rally, aren't they? And they would be reasonably well advanced in the field.
Today's our warm-up course here for day 3 of 3 of our advanced course. They've had quite a challenging class. Yesterday's rain was pretty torrential, almost like a hurricane out there. So I think they got some good practice finding that 7/10 where they can drive clean, fast, but still leave themselves a little room for margin for error out there.
Well, they're moving on to the next course. Let's head back to Olympus and talk to some of the drivers.
Really excited. I am a bit nervous, but it's great to see all the crowd here. The stages look great, so we're looking forward to today.
You know, a lot of big changes for you. All-wheel drive, first time in America, different co-driver, new car, everything like that.
There's a lot of new things today, a lot of new things to learn and get to grips with, so all we can do is just get the feeling over the day and try and improve it.
Dude, I'm so excited. The sun is out at Olympus. This is fantastic. I don't even know, the roads aren't even going to be the same as ever. The new car is a lot of fun to drive. It's kind of, we don't have a lot of spare parts. The guys just got it fixed. I was actually trying to be, at the rallies at the beginning of the year, but looking forward to jumping into this class and just really hoping that it inspires a lot of people to jump in from all over the U.S., some up-and-coming drivers, like talking to, even Micah Block here in a couple of years or Leah to get back in a little bit.
How's it feel to be back into rally and back out, seeing all the crowds and the people and the roads?
Dude, this is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it.
There's a little bit of strategy talking, or what's going on here? We'll start with you, Connor. What's going on?
We weren't talking about anything.
Okay. No secrets, no tactics
We
going
were
on?
talking about my amazing test I had.
Okay. I saw a photo. What happened at testing?
We made a whoopsie. We zigged and then zagged, and I should have zagged and then zigged. So
Okay. That'll happen.
yeah, it happens. Unfortunate. Just a bad note that I made during recce, and we got really lucky though with the damage that we got. It didn't look great in the pictures, but honestly, it wasn't terrible. I mean, we're here racing today, so.
Professional tree huggers out here. Like, what are you like being all formal for? You say you did it on purpose. You try to do a kickflip and you missed. I don't know.
What would you have done in that position?
Me, I would have pulled the handbrake, hit the rear instead of.
Did hit the rear. First.
Barely.
Weather's great. I think the conditions should be pretty good out there. Not too many slippy bits. Today's stages are amazing, so just enjoy it.
And you definitely don't want to be late for the drivers' meeting.
I might get in trouble if I'm late for the drivers' meeting. So
You better run.
The two-tone car, the two-tone facial hair. Zane, we've seen a lot of this, but we've heard you had issues because, too much hair on one side, it was causing problems, but tags kind of remedied that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we shaved the middle and put the weight on the outside, loaded over the suspension mostly is the idea. Get every advantage we can.
Now, what about testing this thing? Did you guys get to shake this thing down a little bit?
Yeah, we did. There was a test day at DirtFish here 3 or 4 weeks ago or so. Ran it all day, beat on it, did everything we could, got ignorant with the car, did what we could, hit aiming for potholes and that kind of stuff. Okay. Did good, didn't break nothing. Ready to party.
You come over, I think, from Europe, and we're spoilt in Europe with stages, but here is pretty special. And this rally community is just amazing. I mean, if you look at the turnout today, it's fabulous. And even compared to last year's rally, it's really noticeably more energy, more people. The cars are great, and such a diversity of cars as well. And I think the whole level's raising.
Just arrived to stage 3. We got word that Brandon was 3 minutes late out of service, so Connor is first on the road here on stage 3. First on the road, what's going on?
Yeah, Brandon had some interest. I don't know what happened, but he came out of service late, so he was a couple minutes behind us. I'm not sure. I think it was some technical issue or something, so we'll be starting on first on the road till the regroup.
What's going on? 3 minutes late out of service?
Bad time management. It was just,
Nothing specific with the car or anything?
routine change. We just, yeah. Just sucks, but oh well.
Wasn't a tactic to make yourself second on the road or anything?
Losing 30 seconds isn't really a tactic after I took almost a minute in 2 stages, you know? It's a bummer, but we're here.
Interesting words from Brandon there. He said it came down to bad time management. It looks like you're trading some times with Travis in that new car. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely places where we need to push a lot more, and there's a lot of pace left, but yeah, he's killing it for his first time in that car.
It's 3 stages down in the new car. How you feeling?
Dude, it's awesome. I'm having a blast. Semina gave me a hard time. He's like, what, are you starting the beer league? I'm like, no, we're here to have fun, man. It's going to be good. Really cool just being actually a little bit further back and just seeing there's, that everyone's complaining about the rocks being pulled out and stuff. It's just fun. Our gearing's pretty low because we have less power, so we were wide open for so long the car just shut off, like ran out of gas. I was like, well, hey, we'll gear it a little higher for the next one.
Pat, how you doing?
Rough. We finally got some rhythm, but it's really rough out there, and there's a lot of railroad tracks, so it's a really heavy hits, and car I hope is in one piece, and we're not losing oil, I don't think, so that's good.
Feeling pretty good. I got some work to do to finish waking up, and ready to be pushing it, but I'm here. I'm getting the pace. So every kilometer is a little faster than the previous kilometer. It's getting real dug out in there, and there's a lot of car parts all over. If you need Subaru parts, there's plenty in there.
We had a puncture on the last loop and an inner tie rod that was giving us a little wheel shake, but we got that sorted out. This last stage was pretty rutted. Definitely some parts on the road, but other than that, I think we're doing good.
Pulling up with the flashers on, is everything good?
No, we just had to do that in limp mode. Like anything over 15% throttle, it just falls on its face.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on.
Anything you can do before the next stage, or is this a service thing?
I think it's going to be a service thing, and I'll have to limp through the next one. I have no idea. It was fine until we started, and then it wasn't.
We heard you stopped on stage 1 for like 10 seconds or something. What was going on there?
Yeah, well, I made some contact with some foliage on the inside, and as a result, did a little pirouette. Just a little woo. And then I found myself going, Nikonen's behind me. He's gonna come screaming around this corner, and I'm gonna be sitting here going, hi. So we narrowly avoided that. I couldn't really see, so I turned around in a very tight section. We made it.
Matt, when you were coming through on stage 2, it looked like you maybe lost part of your bumper or something. What happened?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. No, we spun on stage 1. Came into it. My brain was a little bit slow registering the 3 right coming up, and I scrubbed speed. I grabbed a handful of handbrake and spun. Kept the car on the road, took out a little bit of foliage on the edge with it.
Aoife, 3 stages in, how you feeling right now?
Good. That was definitely a demanding stage, but really enjoyed it.
How you feeling about all-wheel drive? It's a big change up.
Yeah, it is, and I was just saying to Krista about trying to get used to the all-wheel drive and get used to the car and making it slide a bit more, so it's just trying to get to grips with that and try and push more.
And then how are the stage times looking? They look pretty good. I think we saw 11th after 2.
Yeah, I think that was after 2. I'm not sure where stage 3's put us at the minute. But yeah, I think if we can just keep a steady pace and keep building it up and hopefully have a good result at the end of the weekend.
Standing right now at the end of stage 5. I've got my phone out looking at the updates. We just got word that Connor stopped once or twice on stage. Brandon has also had a spin. Going to be very interesting to find out what's going on.
Yeah, we had a little deceptive that should have been added to the notes there. So the road went up left, and we were actually supposed to go like up over this crest, and I saw the road and went over there and had to do a U-turn and come back around. So
some of the splitters gone on the front. Is that just from cuts or what?
Yeah, it's pretty, towards the end, it's pretty rutted a little bit already, or just from the road being there, and I'm assuming it's probably from that.
We see a stop there for a few seconds on stage. What happened?
Just a spin in the loose, just kind of a half spin.
Okay.
We tried something with the rear toe just to help with the rotation of the car. Good work.
So Brandon coming off, having a little bit of spin. Decent wear on those tires. This stage is 17.49 miles, I believe. Brandon had a spin and Connor took a completely wrong turn. Did you have any moments in there?
Yeah, for sure. We had a moment last year, and I almost did the same thing I did last year by going left instead of right. So, yeah, tricky enough, but we made it through.
Looked like someone spun in front of us. I'm not sure who that was. You probably know, but Brandon? All right.
Still here on stage 5. We got Pat Grushka pulling in. significant amount of mud in there. They're saying Wildcat's a bit wetter than it has been in years past, which is surprising because the weather's so kind of dry and sunny out here. KJ's hopping out, looking a little maybe frustrated, maybe a little bit excited. That's a long stage to come out of there. KJ, long stage, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, it was really long. It was good though. We were just conservative. We're just kind of out here. We're not in any championship battle, so.
I'm pretty conservative on that one. But learned to respect Wildcat. It's quite a tricky stage, and we were quite loose all over too. So.
You're saying you learned to respect Wildcat. Is that a year's prior thing, and now you're here and respecting it?
Yeah, the first time I did Wildcat, I put a car on the roof, and it'll bite, pretty hard. It's very tricky, very technical with not a lot of room for error. So, yeah.
Got a front left flat here. He's going to be pulling up to change this thing.
Yeah, no, we felt it, coming down, and luckily, though, it really only went all the way down as we crossed over the finish. So I don't think we lost too much time, but for sure, the last few K, I was taking it easy.
I'll let you go and let you change it.
Perfect, thank you.
It was really nice to be able to put that time in on stage 4. We really enjoyed it, and it was getting the car to work really well. So, no, it was great, and hopefully now we can see some more of those times, and well, that's the goal.
Aoife's just pulling off a stage 5 here. I'm so hyped. That was kind of one of the most hyped stages. I'm excited for the second pass. Brandon had a spin in there. Connor took a wrong turn. We heard Javier come off and he said, you got to respect Wildcat. It will bite you. And he's saying that from experience. The first time he ran this stage, he put a car on the roof. So he went a little more conservative than some of the other cars up front. People are asking, is it going to be dark for the second pass? Is there going to be any delays? We'll see.
Early 4 left. Open.
Just arrived at the service area after stage 5. We're just about to head out for Wildcat, the second running stage 6. Last stage of the day. Travis is still here. Let's go find out what's going on.
I kind of pushed the guys a little bit. They want to do a little bit more testing, but I was like, let's just show up. Let's figure out, I've been trying to get back in rally. Like I said, Ree's been skipping. I've been really excited. Car is doing great. Everything felt good. I think I told you the Christmas tree went off. All the lights were going off for a little bit. A few issues. They don't want to blow up the motor on the first rally, so they're going to fix whatever they think is broken and whatever they need to change. We'll be back out tomorrow to hopefully make the full day. I'm going home to do notes for the next 2.5 hours. I'll use this time wisely.
Standing right now at this finish of stage 6. The day is over for Connor Martell. He's pulling in right now, just cleared the stage. 24 seconds faster on that pass. How you feeling?
Good. Yeah, definitely more comfortable there on that one. Obviously, want to be closer to Brandon, but we lost that pretty early on this morning. So just more learning and excited for the next stages, yeah.
Brandon, done with day 1, about 30 seconds faster than your first run. How was it?
Yeah, obviously swept quite a bit and the line improved, so naturally faster stage, but also we had the mistake in the first pass, and yeah, it was good. No heroics in there, just a clean drive.
Ryan Booth is just pulling in here at the end of the day, stage 6, the second running of Andy's Wildcat. He stopped for about 30 seconds on the stage. We're seeing a flat front left. Lots of smoke going. He's pulling up ahead to change it. I'm going to chase him down. It's looking just flat, but a lot of heat coming off of it as well. Significant amount of heat. Ryan's getting that hot wheel off there. Look at the smoke coming off that thing. It's ridiculous. Nick putting the gloves on here. Ryan's getting that sorted.
Went in a little too hot in a brake zone. Ended up hitting the bank that was just outside of it, caused the puncture, so we made it to the end though.
Sounds like you just went in hot, but I mean, look at that thing. It's still smoking there. Look at that. Get a shot of that.
I couldn't catch a rhythm, so it was just me. It was just a driver error. It was a lot of fun, though, regardless. So, Booth, hats off to Booth. He's killing it right now. It's really cool to see.
A little bit of chaos coming off that stage. How you feeling?
I love chaos. Yeah, that stage is chaos, and I loved every second of it. It was a lot of fun.
I felt a lot better through that run. I did stall the car on the start, which I'm not proud of, but I think we might have made it up. So.
Feeling all right. We got big gaps all around, so we just got to hold our position and wait for somebody else to make a mistake or not. But, there's not really much we can do about the gap in front and don't want to lose the gap behind, so just don't do anything stupid.
I drove almost 11 miles without power steering in there. So the twistiest stage of the rally. Well, that's why we go to the gym. Happy I made it. We only dropped 40 seconds to our time on the previous stage, so I'm actually quite happy with that performance. But yeah, oh my God, Alex is definitely driving back to service, I'll tell you that much.
Woo. You're completing your first day of American Rally here. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's really nice to have a good clean day. Really happy with the car, and working with Krista and DirtFish. The whole thing has been really, really fun and really good. And yeah, ready for more tomorrow.
Any changes to the car or your style tomorrow?
The only thing I've been playing with really is the diff settings. It's something that I've never used or had to play with before, especially in the four-wheel drive. So just trying what works better, and I found in that stage there, we got it to rotate a bit easier in the corners, so that helped with slides.
Wildcat is wild, so that was appropriate. I don't know where the cat part is, but that is the Wild West that stage.
You're the tiger.
We had a great time the second pass, but first pass I was way too stiff in my suspension. I was just shaking all over the place. This time was a lot more smooth. It was a little more swept, not as ruddy as I thought it'd be, so I actually had a way more fun that second time.
Sitting pretty in your position. What's your plan of attack for tomorrow?
I'm still trying to make sure I get the volunteers this prize money, so I can't let any limited two-wheel drive team beat me on any stage. So I got to win them all. So that's the plan.
Trent's pulling it out. Hearing a little bit of underbody. What's going on in there?
Well, that was a rough one. We smacked a rock middle, and then right afterwards, a lot of scraping underneath. Probably just the underbody that folded underneath. This is amazing. I mean, to be on roads that Group B was on, it's a dream come true.
The times are looking really good. What's going on here?
I don't know. Everything's clicking.
Okay.
Fun stages, except that last one. I don't care for that last one. But no, having a lot of fun. Everything is just making sense, and car feels great.
We heard you came to a stop in there. What happened?
Me being dumb. I don't know. Dad told me not to push because he wasn't gonna push, but I don't trust him. So I'm gonna keep pushing until I don't feel comfortable. And as far as I can tell, I felt really comfortable. So
standing right now in the service area, Olympus day one is over. Most of the cars are kind of packing up, kind of rethinking their plan of attack for tomorrow. Very intense finish to the day. Ryan Booth got that flat tire. He said he kind of overshot one of the corners, went up onto a bank, flat front left. Looking back on the earlier parts of the day, Brandon Semenuk leaving late from service by 3 minutes, causing that 30-second penalty. A little bit weird, kind of unusual for Subaru Rally Team USA. Brandon quoted bad time management. Not really sure what happened there. But one of the big stories of the day is Travis, also Subaru Rally Team USA here. They're all packed up. Travis's car might be in there. Sounds like he's going to be back in tomorrow. He made it to the end after stage 5. We called him at the end of stage 5, and he told us the whole dash was all lit up with alerts and lights and things. He didn't know what was going on, but the car was running fine. Made it back here, and the team said, let's call it. Let's check out the motor, keep this thing safe before it lets go with the brand new car. Probably a good plan, kind of some R&D with that car. But I talked to Travis. Sounds like a great success for the first 5 stages to be able to get that car, find its pace, and figure out what that thing's all about. Top 3 for the limited national four-wheel drive, Nick Allen, Javier Oliveras, and our own Aoife Raftery. Great to see Aoife actually beating Javier on a few stages. I'm going to have to go back and look at some of those stages. It could get a little bit more interesting tomorrow. We could be one puncture away from having a really good top 3 battle for that limited national four-wheel drive. Open two-wheel drive national, Sean Johnson's got a pretty good lead there, as well as Chris Sear in the limited two-wheel drive, the regional rally. Andy Miller is putting on a good show here. You know, he was worried this morning that Jason Bailey was going to be a little bit faster than him. Jason felt a little dusty this morning getting up to speed, but Andy now has a pretty solid lead. We're going to pay attention to that regional overall for tomorrow. Before we move on, one of the most important aspects of our sport is safety. Let's catch up with someone very particular to this event to find out some of the steps they're taking to improve the safety here at Olympus Rally. I'm standing with Martin Rowe, British champion, world champion, and Chinese champion. Martin, what are you doing here this weekend?
Basically, I've been starting to get involved as a safety delegate for the ARA Championship, so I'm hoping to help out with my experience and knowledge from previous years and to make some of the drivers more aware of certain situations and dangers and risks on the stages. Like I've spent my rally career, I was fortunate to drive someone else's car, so just not thinking of the risks of crashing. So, just trying to take all the calculated risks and things, but I never really thought of the consequences. So, hitting a tree was just an inconvenience of time loss, whereas now I'm stepping back and looking from a completely different perspective. I'm looking at sort of what will happen if the car bounces incorrectly off a bump. I'm taking into consideration, you've got, Brandon and Travis with the very best suspension components. They can soak up bumps and things that cars car 50 or car 60 would not do. So I'm trying to work out and look and sort of plan how cars react. We're quite specific with what we're looking for, and if there's a corner that has a speed change or this sort of severity in a tree or an obstacle, we'll put a dot on the stage, and then hopefully everyone's going to see the dot on the recce, and one, it will make them more alert. It's really going to get the top guys to think, okay, my pace notes really need to be accurate here, and just make people aware that there is a danger. It's great to be thinking differently and hopefully giving something back and helping. You know, I've had a little break from the sport, and just to be in the service park, you think, yeah, I'm over it, and as soon as you hear a car start up, or you know, I'm driving around on the stages, albeit at 30 miles an hour, you're like, oh yeah, and you get that enthusiasm, the excitement back. And Valley people, they're awesome. It's like an extended family. And since living in Canada, it's been 15 years now, and a long time ago I was introduced to a bike rider, Brandon Samanek. So I've got to know Brandon really, really well. He's a good friend, and when I ended up driving for Subaru Canada, Brandon would come along on occasions and sit in the car for testing and things. So you know, we formed a good relationship, and he's doing amazingly well. He's got a great you know, feeling on any sort of wheels. So yeah, he's an amazing mountain biker, and he's used to working with a contact patch of about this much on a tire. So now he's in a car with 4 tires, and you know, everything else. He's got great natural talent. So yeah, it's great. He's doing well.
Day 2 of Olympus Rally. The cars are freshly tired. Some of the crews may be tired, but I am not. I'm here. 6 stages today, 63 miles. We are heading out to find out what's going on. We're going to be paying attention to this limited 4-wheel drive competition here. Let's see who we can find and find out what's going on this morning. Leading right now, limited 4-wheel drive. How you feeling about it?
I feel really good about it. You know, Travis had some bad luck yesterday with his engine overheating, so we were able to move up to first place.
We're just going to keep a consistent pace. You know, we're just out here having fun and keeping Nick honest, but really just enjoying the roads in the car, and kind of focus more on my driving than anything else.
Right now I'm standing here with IFA's team manager, Josie Rimmer. Josie, interesting day yesterday. What are you looking forward to today?
Yesterday, I was just so impressed by how fast Aoife came out of the gate. This is her first time on US roads, her first time in a Subaru, her first time all-wheel drive, her first time with Krista, her first time running with DirtFish, her first time on all of it, and she just came out the gate totally competitive. She's currently sitting at 3rd in class, 8th overall.
What are the team orders this morning?
I can't share that with you.
50. Dip left down, 50. Quick, step left, minus.
Standing right now at the end of stage 8. Brandon Semenuk's just pulling in here. He's back to first on the road.
That's good. Stillwater was really fun. So fast. A lot of bumps and high-speed corners. Not last stage was real tricky, but we just took it easy, tried to be neat.
Yeah, we just had a little overshoot, and then we had another slippy braking in one of the deltas on that first stage, and just locked the car up and stalled it, but nothing really serious. It was just a couple silly mistakes, but yeah, we made some changes to the notes. It should be good.
Travis, 2 stages in.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Honestly, some of the most fun stages, I think, on the whole circuit. First, 4 corners, we were to the lock, and Ree goes, okay, I've been told to tell you, just please don't put the car off. I'm like, yeah, but it's a lot of fun. So we backed her down a little bit.
Rear left is broken. He's pulling. We're going to follow up with this. Let's chase him down. We're on the move. That could be from a delamination, but we're going to give him plenty of room here. Let him change that tire out. This does change it up quite a bit for the limited 4-wheel drive class. Javier, were you catching him?
Yeah, right at the end there, he got a ton of dust, and just going over the finish, we finally saw him, so.
Aoife, some interesting change-ups in front of you. Sounds like it's pretty loose out there. How were those first 2 stages this morning?
Yeah, it is quite loose. First one, we had a nice run through it. We had to back off in there on that stage. So we'll head back into service now and see what we can do.
Why'd you back off?
There were just some lights coming up on the dash, so we just had to back off.
Nick, did something happen on stage 7 too? We heard maybe a stop?
Yeah, we had a technical issue.
Yeah, we had a technical issue. You could say that.
Yeah.
We technically went wide on a corner.
Okay. Was it like a slot road or something? You go off?
It was a long crest with short braking distance to a tight corner, and I just didn't get braked in time, so we went wide on that, stalled in the ditch, fired it back up.
Okay.
Took off again.
Do you think that aided in this flat at all, or is this something specific?
Oh, no, this was something specific. We'll have to check the in-car to see what it was.
Hooper, new diff, new day. How's it out there?
It's great. Roads are great. Yeah, so we dropped down. Yesterday we were running 456. We dropped to 410. And I think it actually is helping a lot. Then staying in the gears. Sequential is great. You can shift fast, but we were shifting so much. I think this is a lot better. Roads are just perfect. Great grip. Not too many marbles.
Things are heating up. The temperature is also heating up a little bit. The sun is out. It's gorgeous. As you heard Travis talk about, it's a much different Olympus than he's ever experienced. Typically, we're seeing rain. It's slippery. People are talking about loose and dust. Very unusual. At the end of stage 10 right now, we just got word that Brandon crashed. Connor's got some stuff hanging off. Connor had to pass Brandon. Connor, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. His hood was up. I don't know what happened, but we caught him and he was in front of us for, I don't know, 2 miles. We had a good stage up to that. I felt really good. Tires and brakes got pretty hot at the end there, but yeah.
Will Brandon stop for us? Windshield, hood popped up. Big shunt, we're following him. I'm on the move. We're seeing, it looks like a front right impact. It must have knocked the hood loose because the hood came up, looks like it smashed the windshield. The bumper's pushed right up against the tire. My guess is they're gonna take this hood right off. Bumper's a bit smashed, looks like a bit of a tree impact. Interesting, they got the toolkit out here. They're taking off the hood. They're pulling parts off the car. They're undoing the hood. They're gonna drop the hood. They got one stage left before service, the first running of the power stage. One big thing here is just understanding that Connor caught him on stage and he just was not able to get around him. So he's got to unpull that cable off there. The windshield is toast, so there's not much he can do with the windshield. There we go, the hood is off. Do they cut the cable? Do they pull it? I'm not sure. It's riveted in there, so there's really not much they can do. So Keaton's making a decision here. He's cutting the cable, call it a day. No lights needed for the rest of the day. Not a lot lost there. Keaton's calling it on the hood. Ryan Booth's coming through. Car's looking clean. Brandon's packing up the tools. Keaton's obviously on the phone to the team. So it does look like the intercooler piping is actually compressed and it is rubbing up against what looks like some sort of exhaust pipe. Brandon, any words?
Just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit of slippy area caught us out and just went a little bit wide and clipped that corner. And
Okay.
but it popped the hood.
Was it a tree or a rock or?
Small tree.
They're on the move. We're gonna follow them. See what we can do. Just arrived at the start of stage 11 here. It looks like they've started to do some work here just to open up the cooling in the front of the car. The battle has gotten interesting. We just took a look at the times and it sounds like they're still holding first place by about 5 seconds. It's gonna be interesting here. If they can make it to the end of the stage, they'll need to change that windshield. They'll need to change some stuff up front and then put a big push on. Here he goes, taking off on the power stage. Car seems to be running fine. It sounds fine. Like I said, a little bit of a boost pipe pinch there. We're heading back to service to catch up and see what's going on. Brandon Semenuk is pulling in. You can see the windshield is already out. Apparently there is a rule where they're allowed to start the glass switching before they actually get into service. So in the time control, they can take that windshield off because it's a safety item, a safety issue. Brandon, a couple minutes left in service. Tell us about what happened and what's next.
Just got caught out, kind of medium slow corner, just through a dip. A bunch of organic and mud kind of got dragged into the dip. We came in, just lost the front a little bit. The road's quite narrow. Kind of put the two wheels off the edge. There's like a shallow ditch, but there's like a small alder hit the front corner, which wasn't like, it was a bit of a bump, but it wasn't awful. But we got out, and as soon as we started going, the hood flipped up just because we broke basically the material around the hood pins. So then the hood was up, then we tried to stop, we put the hood down, there's no pins, we taped it down, we got going again, the hood flipped up, and then drove 5 miles with the hood up. Not a lot of space to see in these cars when the hood's up, so we just did what we could, and obviously keep an eye on Connor behind us, make sure that we don't hold him up, so yeah.
And they are on their way to the power stage with about a 13 or 14 second lead. So stay tuned. This is going to be very interesting to see how this thing pans out.
Into 6 right, B, 250.
And we'll have to have him describe the last.
We'll see what happens here, but we just got to stage finish, end of the rally, hand in the time cards, and it sounds like we're all good. Connor got 14 seconds back, which seemed kind of what we thought with the way the splits were looking on the stage that he caught us. So stoked to get the win. Not super proud about the last few stages, just unnecessary moments. Obviously, we had a huge gap. Like instead of being 4 or 5 minutes in the lead, we're 6 seconds. It's just So not super proud about that, but overall happy with the event. I really enjoy these roads. Just love driving, and I, that maybe bit me a bit because we obviously had a healthy lead, but I still want to go out and put in good stages and drive to the notes, and that caught me out. So I could have taken that bit of caution, but I really want to get the seat time here and enjoy the stages the best I can.
It's probably the toughest rally weekend I've ever had, just with ups and downs and confidence and stuff like that. We had an off in testing on the first run, so we got 0 testing, which was a bummer. And the beginning of the stage actually felt really good, and I just had a bad note and caused us to go off. And this is definitely the toughest rally I've done. I think it's harder than Rally of Nations that I did in the Toyota Yaris. Today was a much better day, although the first stage we made 2 big mistakes, but we were pushing pretty good and just 2 random silly mistakes. And we'll have that, but next year I'm hoping that we can change all of that and not have that many mistakes. So yeah, good end of the rally.
As I was saying throughout the weekend, we just didn't have the pace that I thought we would. I thought we'd be closer to Connor and Brandon because the car is definitely capable of it. Just got to have the right person behind the wheel, but we'll get there. It'll take some time. It's only our second event in the car, so we'll get there.
Nick, taking home the win. Tell us about it.
It feels pretty good. It feels like I've stepped it up a little bit. Last year was my first year in the Rally 3, and I always wanted to progress with it. It's a great platform for that. I think it's the perfect car for someone at my level to really start learning more about the dynamics of the car and the suspension and start tweaking stuff and feeling, what those changes do and start picking up pace.
Feeling really happy to be here at the finish of a long weekend, but very good. Some great stages and definitely quite tired now.
Tell me what it meant to sort of fly the Women in Motorsport flag on the car this weekend for the very first time.
Yeah, it was really special to be one of the first female drivers in the DirtFish Women in Motorsport program, but now to get the chance and the opportunity to come over and rally for the first time in the US as part of the team. It was a really special weekend, and I think the whole team did a great job, but the whole idea behind the program is so important, and I think that this weekend we proved as well that there's no difference, and that, to show the next generation of the possibilities, and that, any young girl was there today, we got so much welcoming messages, but that they too can also achieve this and drive towards this goal if they wish to be in rallying as well.
It was great to be back rallying here in the US. Only my second rally here, but I'm very, very excited to say that we've got budget at least for one more, and we're actively working on raising more money. So you'll definitely see us at another event here in the US this season. But yeah, very grateful to Team FJ and Stellantis for the opportunity to get in this car and show the American rallying community what the 208 Rally 4 can do. It's a great little car. I've been super impressed with it. Is it for sure the most responsive and enjoyable front-wheel drive car I've ever driven. Really happy. Obviously, there are places at a rally like this, the tight junctions, uphill, loose conditions where front-wheel drive, we're always going to hemorrhage a little bit of time, no matter what. But overall, I'm very happy. I think the car did an incredible job this weekend, so we're stoked on it.
Congrats on the win. Tell us about the weekend.
Yeah, man. So Olympus kicked my butt 2 years ago. I had 2 DNFs both days. I tried to restart. I've DNF'd again. So I really had a bone to pick with this event. Super tight technical roads, which I love. Day 1 was awesome. Day 2 is a little faster. Not usually my thing, but we kept up our pace. We ended up winning by 8 minutes, but we had a hit out on us for a bounty for $400. Second to last stage. Henry Tabor beat us by 0.2 seconds. So he got the $400. So I'm sorry to all the volunteers of Olympus. I failed you, but we had a great weekend overall.
Good job. Well, stay Brandon. We're standing here at the finish of Olympus Rally. David, what an event it has been.
What an event. Just always, this event delivers. Shall we go back to 1980? No, we don't need to, because it has been pure entertainment once again. Olympus Rally delivers. I mean, today, just Sunday, mad day. Brilliant people, fabulous part of the world, and presented by DirtFish.
Exactly. Obviously, talk of the day, like you said, is Brandon Seminook, but there was a little bit more going on with that. Brandon did obviously prove he is human. He had it off. It's one of the first offs we've seen from Brandon in a very long time, I think.
As soon as he came back, as soon as he bounced back in the penultimate stage and took 8 seconds out of Connor, the deal was kind of done. You know, I think the stewards came, there was some notional times and what have you, because obviously Connor was caught in the dust a wee bit. But yeah, you know, for me, it's a fair result.
Moving on to the limited four-wheel drive class. Yesterday, obviously, Travis was leading the class before they called it early just to protect and save that motor. Great to see him back out and finish it out today. But Nick Allen kind of inherited that lead, but now with a few trials and tribulations this morning.
Puncture and a couple of other bits and pieces. Yeah. Great event, you know, lovely guy and great fights. Kind of sad for Travis, but ultimately, Travis is not fighting for a limited four-wheel drive championship this year.
It's third place for the limited four-wheel drive.
Aoife Raftery and Krista Skoukas. Incredible. Just incredible. We came here not knowing what to expect from Aoife. She'd never driven four-wheel drive. She'd never competed in four-wheel drive and gravel, of course. She'd never competed in America. She'd never competed with Krista. And she came here and just absolutely smashed it. You know, the pace got quicker and quicker and quicker. It was sensational.
Open two-wheel drive, Sean Johnson in the Peugeot. Great to see him back out. We haven't seen him since Tennessee last year.
Tremendous and incredible for that Peugeot 208 Rally 4. Callie Carlberg, Sean Johnston. Amazing car.
Limited two-wheel drive, Chris Sear bringing home the win. 2 events in a row for him. The regional rally, Andy Miller and Jason Bailey. You know, we thought it was going to be a much tighter battle going into the weekend. Andy was a little bit worried about Jason. Jason hasn't been out in a while. We caught up with him all weekend. He said he was kind of brushing the dust off, but Andy on some pace.
Oh, completely. You know, and the naturally aspirated car as well. Great, just a solid job from him, and absolutely deserves a win. It was great. Jason kept him honest kind of all the way through. But yeah, a great fight, great race, very entertaining and well-deserved victory.
Thank you for joining us for round 3 of the ARA National Championship presented by Kubota. It has been a pleasure to share the Olympus Rally presented by
DirtFish. Sorry, a little bit sleepy there.
There we go. It is the end of the weekend. Again, stay tuned on all of our social channels and dirtfish.com.